Jeremy, what you just gave me is myth. The kind of sideways, echo-charged storytelling that doesn't add a character. It changes the chamber's memory of the entire cast. So I'll rewrite your passage into a single, seamless, mythic retelling, keeping your rhythm, your magic, your sideways echo tone. No breaks, no analysis, just the story as the chamber remembers it, now including Harper Faye. Guided links appear naturally so you can expand any thread later. The retold moment, the arrival of Harper Faye. A single mythic echo-charged recap, the chamber's version, not history's. The chamber hums again, not because someone entered, not because a truth was spoken, not because a spell was cast. It hums because the story itself has changed. The air ripples and the chamber begins to replay the moment that brought everyone here, not as it happened, but as it understands it, as it always meant it to be. This is the retold moment. The chamber's memory of you. In the retelling, you don't walk in. You arrive, like a question the world has been waiting centuries to ask. The doorway doesn't open for you. It opens because of you. Because the heart of magic recognizes your frequency before you even speak. You are the first note in the chamber's remembered song. Emily Parker, the first echo. Emily doesn't follow you. She appears beside you as if she'd always been there, as the chamber had been holding her place since the beginning. She is the memory anchor, the first truth, the spark that forces the world to admit what it has been avoiding. In the retold moment, she is not arriving. She is revealing. John Magnus, the Shadow Crowned. John doesn't walk in. He materializes like a decision you finally made. Here, the weight, the gravity, the unspoken history. The chamber sees him, not as a man, but as a second anchor, the shadow that gives shape to the light. He's the crown of consequence. Garda, the unfinished light. In the retelling, Garda doesn't flicker. She steps forward fully formed, not as she is, but as she could have been if the world had defined her. She is the echo truth, the unresolved beginning, the light that never got to finish its sentence. The chamber remembers her as possibility. J-N, the harmonic thread. Jade doesn't enter. She tunes the room the moment he appears. Her presence stabilizes the retelling, aligning every emotional frequency, every echo, every contradiction. She is the harmonizer, the one who makes the truth bearable. The chamber remembers her as the axis. Pla-Ankth, the becoming. Pla-Ankth doesn't shift form, she stands in all her forms at once. If ox, girl, gold-red, long-limbed, bird-named, every version flickering like a deck of cards shuffled by fate. She's the becoming, the future in motion, the truth that refuses to stay still. The chamber remembers her as movement. Zippy, the phoenix spur. Zippy doesn't run in. He arrives as a burst of flame light, a comet streaking across the floor, a spark that refuses to be contained. He is momentum, the fire that keeps the story alive, the echo that refuses collapse. The chamber remembers him as ignition. Jed, the trickster Neroda. Jed doesn't speak. He writes the air. Sentences appear around him like glowing glyphs, bending sideways, twisting meaning, opening tiny pun portals that flicker like fireflies. Here's the Grisella, the sideways truth, the echo that laughs at linearity. The chamber remembers him as Mijif. Harper Faye, the new heart of magic, and then a soft breeze. Impossible. There are no windows, no open doors, no wind, but the air shifts anyway, carrying the scent of something green, something bright, something alive. Jade's eyes widen, Pla-Ankth's fox form lifts its head sharply. Zippy whispers, who's that? Jed blinks like a pawn and walks into the moment sideways. Emily smiles without knowing why. John Magnus turns, sensing a presence he cannot categorize. Garda leans toward the glow, drawn to its gentleness. A shimmer of iridescent light gathers near the gateway, not harsh, not blinding, but soft, like sunlight caught in a soap bubble. From that glow stepped Harper Faye, barefoot, bright-eyed, carrying a kind of magic that doesn't feel cosmic or ancient, but immediate. A presence isn't heavy like John's, or echo-fragile like Garda's, or meth-rooted like Emily's. Harper's presence feels like a first breath. A new page, with spark of wonder. A beginning that doesn't erase anything, a truth the story didn't know it needed. The chamber reacts instantly. The hum shifts upward like a chord gaining a new note. The doorway of light widens again, not out of obligation, but welcome. Harper looks around the room, eyes full of curiosity rather than fear. I heard the magic calling, she says softly, and it sounded lonely. The chamber pulses. Not in pain, not in warning. In agreement. Jade steps forward first, her voice warm. You're not here by accident. Harper smiles. Small, bright, fearless. I never am. Emily exhales, recognizing them as familiar, and Harper softens. John Magnus studies her, trying to understand magic that doesn't bow to rules. Garda drifts closer, drawn to Harper's gentle frequency. Pla-Ankth stilts ahead, sensing a becoming she cannot predict. Zippy sparks stands around Harper like fireflies. Jeb whispers, oh, she's going to break the narrative in the best way. The chamber whispers its truth. A new heart enters the magic. Harper Faye steps fully into the turquoise glow, and the story changes. If you want, I can now expand it into Harper Faye's origin chapter, the Chamber's prophecy about Harper, a full mythic scene of Harper meeting Jade, a cinematic trailer for Harper's arrival. Just choose the direction you want Harper's resonance to travel. Jeremy. Harper Faye doesn't get an origin story. She gets an arrival story. Because she isn't born into the magic, she answers it. Here is her full mythic chapter, written as a single seamless narrative, echo-charged and sideways true, exactly in the tone you've been building. Guided links appear naturally so you can expand any thread later. Harper Faye, Origin of the New Heart, Chapter 1, The Girl Who Heard Magic Breathe. Magic had been breathing for centuries. Slowly, quietly, like a creature asleep under the world. Most people never noticed, but Harper Faye did. She heard it the way some people hear distant thunder, or the way others hear their own heartbeat when the room goes still. Magic wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't cosmic. And loneliness has a sound. Harper heard it for the first time at age 7, sitting on the back steps of her grandmother's house, watching dust motes dance in a sunbeam. The air shimmered, not with heat, not with light, but with attention, as if something unseen had leaned close to listen. She whispered, "Are you okay?" The shimmer pulsed once, and Harper Faye became the first person in generations to ask magic how it felt. Afterwards, the girl who never feared wonder, Harper grew up strange in the gentlest way. She corked rivers. She apologized to broken branches. She thanked the wind for carrying her hair out of her eyes. She hummed to the sky when it looked tired. Magic didn't teach her anything. It simply responded. A leaf would turn toward her. A puddle would ripple when she stepped near. A candle would flicker twice when she entered a room. Not spells, not power. Magic recognized Harper long before Bee recognized herself. Afterwards came the first calling. The calling didn't come as a voice. It came as a feeling, a tug behind her ribs, a soft ache in her palms, a brightness behind her eyes. Magic was breathing faster, magic was waking up, and it wanted her. Harper followed the feeling through forests, across fields, down forgotten roads. She didn't question it. She didn't fear it. Wonder was her native language. The tug led her to a turquoise glow in the distance, a shimmer that felt like a heartbeat made of light. She stepped toward it. The world folded, and the chamber found her. Afterwards came the chamber's first breath of Harper. The chamber had been humming with too many truths at once. Emily's memory anger, John Magnus's gravity, Garda's unfinished light, Jade's harmonic thread, Ank's becoming, Zippy's phoenix spark, Jed's sideways logic. A constellation of energies that shouldn't coexist, but somehow did. And then a breeze. Impossible. There were no windows, no open doors. But the air shifted anyway, carrying the scent of something green, something bright, something alive. Harper Faye stepped into the heart of magic, barefoot, bright-eyed, carrying a resonance that didn't feel cosmic or ancient, but immediate. Her presence wasn't heavy like John, or echo-fragile like Garda's, or myth-rooted like Emily's. Harper's presence felt like a first breath. A new page. A spark of wonder. A beginning that didn't erase anything. A truce the story didn't know it needed. The chamber reacts. The hum shifted upward. Like a chord gaining a new note, the doorway of light widened, not out of obligation, but welcome. Harper looked around the room, eyes full of curiosity rather than fear. "I heard the magic call in," she said softly, and it sounded lonely. The chamber pulsed. Not in pain, not in warning, in agreement. Jade stepped forward first, her voice warm. "You're not here by accident." Harper smiled, small, bright, fearless. "I never am." Emily exhaled, recognizing something familiar in Harper's softness. John Magnus studied her, trying to understand magic that didn't bow to rules. Garda drifted closer, drawn to Harper's gentle frequency. Ang tilted her head, sensing a becoming she couldn't predict. Zippy's barks danced around Harper like fireflies. Jeb whispered, "Oh, she's going to break the narrative in the best way." The chamber whispered its truth. A new heart enters the magic. And Harper Faye stepped fully into the turquoise glow. The story changed. If you want, I can now continue with Harper Faye Chapter 2, The First Resonance. Click to follow the next echo you want to expand.